Matt, as always, maybe we'll
Thank
get
you.
some additional FOMO out of you today. Tomorrow, we
Mhm.
got some crazy updates on the NFT game, play to earn game. You
Yep.
gave me some, well, not you, somebody gave me some spoilers, which again, it's hard for me not to look at and then like share before we also go live. Like you guys always, we got to do it while we're live. And
Yep.
today we have a special guest, Stuart. So Stuart, thank you for
How
joining
you
us
doing?
today. We've been wanting you to get onto this from, I think, like the first episode, right? We always want
Yeah,
everybody on
yeah.
here.
There's always somebody else that needs to come on that's got something a bit more, not important. That's probably the wrong words, but yeah, it's got other things that need to be said. So, I've just bided my time, keep myself in the background, and yet here I am.
All right. Well, we're going to get into the community aspect as well. But of course, always, we have the disclaimer first. And then we're going to get into the spoilers and everything else that you guys want to find out. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a bit. All right, guys, we're back up. We always got to hit everybody with the disclaimer every single time. I know it's a pain, but it has its purpose. And on that note, I do have to say, because I know Matt, so you guys are dealing with like attorneys, right, for all the legal stuff
Yeah.
behind the scenes. Like
It's
that in
expensive,
itself is a lot of work, right? I mean, there's like
Yeah.
so much information, time, energy that goes into this stuff. This space, it needs this kind of stuff. We need to be educating everybody on it.
I don't think anyone really appreciates it until they have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of work. So
Yeah, I don't want to be dealing with that. All right. So, Stuart, we've got you on the show. Again, we've been wanting you to be here on day one. This is for the community at StarShip. So for those that are watching, we should be seeing everybody in Telegram, Discord. They should be asking questions within the chat. We're here to answer questions. But we're also here to show the team. We always have Matt, Tamora's here. Stuart, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your involvement around StarShip, and I'll time you on that.
To be honest, I probably don't have enough time for your show to be able to tell you what I do around StarShip. I pretty much do whatever's required, wherever is required. So if I'm needed to be in the community, talk to community members, that's what I'll do. If I need to be in the game, I'll be in the game. If I need to help with other projects and things like that, then that's where I'll be. CEXY.Finance is probably where I'm spending a lot of my time at the moment. But like I said, wherever I'm needed is where I'll be. Anything Matt needs.
Stuart's been with us since the beginning too, right, Stuart?
Yeah. I think I'm like day 2 or something like that from StarShip, but I got involved with viral investments. I didn't manage to get into some of the other projects that sort of StarShip was promoting at the time because my foray into PancakeSwap just didn't let me get in there. And then I remember my first day, basically Faye walked me through the whole PancakeSwap thing, getting me into StarShip. I fell in love with the project probably within about 3 or 4 days, and sort of decided that the best way to ensure that that everything goes all right is to be involved myself. So I sort of dived straight in, both feet
that's
forward.
Dedication right there. I love your project, but I want to make sure everything is good.
Yeah,
I'm joining your team, whether you like it or not.
Unfortunately, that's about how it was. That is about how it was, and I just sort of shoehorned myself in, and here I am, almost a year later.
Okay. Side note, and Stuart, we were just talking about this before. Peaky Blinders. I'm just going to put it out there. I just started rewatching the entire season. Stuart, you are way ahead of us, so you are in that area per se. Again, I'm not going to say specifics, but you're giving off Peaky Blinder vibes right now. I like your project, but I'm part of your team. Like it or not.
Don't take no for an answer.
Stuart did say he's wherever he's needed, so he's also our hitman too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not financial advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm really cheap. It's all right. You know, that could be financial advice. You know,
There you go.
but for a box of sweets in
1950s wages.
Yeah. Well, on that note, though, I want other community members to pick up on that, and that's exactly what projects actually look for. You know, we look for community members to keep growing and then want to be part of the project. That's ultimately what does help with the whole success and onboarding process, right? Bring people in, asking how many questions are you guys answering like on a daily basis, right? You're always on top of it. You're always pretty direct, actually.
It's not just that, but you know, when we first took people in, they looked to usually one person, myself or Asley, for answers. But now those people, they don't need us anymore.
No,
So
you're out.
they have to take you know, contributors and community members under their wing if we want to grow this thing like we've been growing it, because there's only so many people that one of us can help in a day. So the more people we're bringing in, the better the project's going to grow.
Okay. Now, this is actually an interesting segue to the NFT game because this whole UI, the interface, I'm going to be careful, I guess, what I say and what you guys want to put out there, but the graphics are intense. It's amazing. We had that preview video last time. Again, I have some spoilers. I have some photos in which I can share. But before that, we also had a video on Funky Monkey Frat House. I have to make sure I always say it like the right way. So
I think they released that video,
right? It's live. It's running.
Yeah, they just released that video.
It's on the test net at the moment, the Funky Monkey space station. So it's just being tested at the moment. I think 48 hours or so. Is that about right, Saint? And then it's going to be released onto mainnet, or am I wrong on that?
Well, kind of right, kind of wrong. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was the Funky Monkey space station was released yesterday Eastern time, around 6 or 7 p.m. thereabout. We have decided not to push it to main net as yet because we need to work out a few kinks with the Anchor wallet to ensure that everybody has their certain type of preference that they would need to gain access to the game. But we did have a successful space station launch for Funky Monkey, and the updated UI codes are almost done, and we will be updating the main game, I think, within the next 48 or so hours, probably sooner.
Okay. Now so I know that that's a separate project than Starship, but you guys are in a collaboration per se. I mean, they have their own space station. For those that aren't aware as to what we're talking about, so Funky Monkey Frat House, that NFT project is huge. I mean, I looked into their Discord group. Their members are extremely active. Actually a strong correlation with Starship, right? So the energy, the vibes, it's always positive. So once this is up and running, and once I feel like their members start to understand the Starship ecosystem, you guys, you just keep doing these types of collaborations and partnerships, and this is like gone. That's it. Like you guys are ready for literally like a liftoff status.
Yeah, my goal for this year was 100,000 members. I think if we can get all of our space stations launched, we'll easily accomplish that.
Okay.
Now, I don't think we have enough NFTs for 100,000 members. 3 to 6 space stations, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so depending on the amount of space stations you have, there's only, again, so many NFTs that are components, right, that you could equip a ship with to then work throughout all of them. Is that?
Yeah, so right now there's 3 ships per player. So yeah, that's all.
Okay.
How's the planet sale doing? Do you guys have any info on that?
I don't have specific numbers, but it's doing well. It seems to be predominantly community members which are buying them. We have had some funky monkey sales sort of from last night and today, so there's definitely some action with the planets. The biggest thing I think at the moment is just how the new UI looks on the testnet. It's so superior to how it used to be. So full credit to Timor and his whole team. I know Saint gets all of the credit, but there's a whole bunch of people behind him which are doing an amazing job. So we can't thank them enough. And it does look amazing. Anyone that's got any interest in wanting to see what the new UI looks like, in Telegram there is a link in there, so people can go and have a quick glimpse at what it's going to look like when it gets put onto mainnet, because it's awesome. Take it out and
I think I have some screenshots we could share in a bit if you guys want to. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, to add to what Stuart was saying, that the whole team is just rock stars. Grandpa is a rock star, or main developer, dedicated developer for the StarShip NFT game. We call him Matt number 2 because he's Matt as well. So
But he's
just
way
working.
cooler than me. He's way
Yeah, for
cooler
sure,
than
for
Matt
sure.
number 1.
Yeah, been working nonstop around the clock, and kudos to those guys, for making everything possible thus far.
Okay. Now, just on that topic, so with the game, right? So it's a play-to-earn game. It's live. I know I keep repeating myself on that aspect, but you have Starship tokens, you have the planets, which are NFTs, but then you have NFTs as well, which are part of the actual structure of each ship. So it's the equipment, right? So think about any kind of a car or vehicle, you want to equip it to then go out into space. So the objective here is to basically get a Ferrari, basically, right? Lamborghini Ferrari status of your spaceship by just loading it up to then become the fastest and go out to these planets, which again are NFTs, to then claim. But then there's a special other token behind the scenes called Kyanite, which you can then extract, right? And then this is also like the gas component that lets you kind of keep that process going. So it's on repeat. So I think there's still some component to a little bit of like an educational approach to this or explaining it, but that's also like the gamification aspect, which I actually really like, right? I mean, you don't want to just go into a game and then fully understand everything. You want to get into a game because there's different components, right?
There's also different strategies that people can use. It's difficult to just say, right, that's what you need to do, because everybody will have a different strategy. So you can get one person's opinion, but it's exactly that. It's an opinion. Everybody's got their own views of how they want to play the game. Everyone's got their own views of what they want out of the game, where the game should go, and how it should be played. So in a way, specifically the NFT game, go in, see how you want to play it, see what the best strategy is for yourself, what the NFTs are that you've got, and what's going to be best for you to play the game.
Okay. I don't want to
Speaking of earning Kyanite, I didn't realize how much people were earning until just recently. I had a conversation. I mean, there's some people who are just mining Kyanite, but then there's also people who are mining Kyanite and working the market, the secondary market. And they're since January, they're up 2 to 3 times their money. So I think once these user interface problems are fixed, which they are, but once it's pushed to mainnet, we're going to be back on track with the growth that we had at the start. So
true. So although this is a game, I'm just going to put this out there, and we're not going to get political, but we could add to it. I'm just talking about like real estate in general, because that's what these planets are, right? So there's only a certain amount of planets ever to be made, and it's basically just like real estate. You guys aren't making anymore. So when people go out and basically claim these planets, they get that NFT, which is then, again, it's theirs. 100%. Nobody else can take it. It's their planet.
It entitles them to some extra earnings too.
Well, we got the real estate part, but then we see this new thing actually right now in the news about like gas prices and crude oil, right? I'm just making that connection into like Kyanite. So land is always hard to buy. Land prices are shooting up, and then gas and crude oil is going up. I'm just
Yep.
connecting this into like the game because that's kind of like what it is in a way, right? Kind of like a weird, it's a weird analogy, but
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yep. Pretty soon, kyanite and crude oil they'll be on track together. They'll follow each other.
That's
So
it.
I talked to the president the other day. He told me. So
Okay, which
He was saying
president?
that to me when he was over for dinner.
no, I'm just kidding.
So
Yeah.
tomorrow, or well, somebody. I'm just gonna say you actually did it though. We got some teasers here. Do we want to talk about the new UI? You want me to put those screens up? You want me to start sharing some of this?
Well, it depends on which one of the UIs you're talking about. I mean, we have the Starship NFT game, and we do have the Starship Universe game that it's pretty advanced in regards to development, and we're currently in the second testing phase of it, working out a few bugs here and there to get it out as soon as possible. So it depends on which one of those screenshots you want to throw out there.
Pretty
You
sure
see
it's
the
the.
sweat starting to roll down his head where he's getting a little bit nervous at which
I
one
just
you're going
got
to
out of the shower
release.
before. That's it. All right, I'll do the quick screen share.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a shot there from the Starship Universe game that's currently been tested. We did open up the initially with I think 10 or 11 admins to test for about a week and a half thereabout, and then last Saturday we opened it up to an additional 20 persons to go about their play around type of thing, But yeah, so like that is the landing page for it. It's 3D, so you actually see the planet, spinning and all that, and get the information if you're building. Yeah,
Well, for
and,
those
and
that
stuff
want to
like that.
see the video, we shared the video, I think it was last week or the week before, but we also made like a dedicated tweet that also showcased it. So this really brings out like that metaverse 3D, like virtual appeal, which I know a lot of people are liking right now.
Mhm. Yep, yep. I mean, like, there have been changes in regards to the game itself. That's a defense system there that persons will be able to upgrade and have for their planets to protect their planets in the Starship Universe game. That's a research facility in the game
All right, let's
as
start.
well.
Let's start from here. Let's start from here. Let's go. What is this? Let's go from screen to screen. I'm
Well,
gonna roll with
it's
you.
so there are different resources in the game. That's graphene. It shows once you mouse over anything in the game, it basically gives you a little description of what it is, what it does. Um, well, in this case, it shows you how much your production per hour, per day, per week, and then your total that you have on you so far. So we have, I think, 7 different types of resources that are in the game currently.
So this graphene, by the way. So Matt, the only time I've ever heard of graphene, I'm pronouncing it correctly, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
graphene, the only time I've ever heard about this word before was actually from Will at Flourishing Capital. And he brought this up because everybody talks about having like diamond hands, right? Or like true holders. And he
Mhm.
said, we don't want diamond hands. We actually want graphene hands. And when I started looking into it, then I was like, oh, I mean, this is actually pretty cool, but nobody actually knows what graphene is. So to see it here, I'm like, oh, you guys are making some interesting connections right now.
I mean, it's a type of metal, That's the
Yeah,
easiest way to explain it to anybody.
yeah, but it has different like molecules, or it's made up stronger than like diamonds, though, right, or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so the point of the day. That's it. Something learned. That's it. All right,
Yeah.
where are we at with this?
So that's the main overview game page after you log into the game. Depending on the amount of planets you have, um, to the left you will see them there. Once you click on it, then it will be the center focus in regards to your main the planet that shows rotated in full 3D there. To the right of that, you see for if you have anything being built, you see what you're being built in real time countdown. Same thing if you're building anything in the shipyard, like any type of ships or
Yo, this is
defenses,
sick,
you know,
man.
you
This
see
has
it
like
there.
you guys have like so many layers to this. Okay.
Yeah,
There's so
yeah, for
much
sure.
gameplay there. There's so much gameplay. Like when we first started, I played all night long and then all day the next day. And I was like, okay, I got to be really careful with this because it's
You're not
addictive.
getting any work done.
Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah, I
was a
mean it's
Saturday and Sunday, so you guys can forgive me for that. And I was technically testing.
yeah. I mean like it's based on it's real playing in regards to everything has a countdown. You can spend something to to fast forward your speed. You need to have I'm trying to find the right word. I would say power to power your plants, like your in order to mine those resources that you have on your planet. So let's say your power goes down into negative, your graphene mines won't be producing at 100% capacity. It's downgraded, and then you then have to shuffle things around to put priority on what you want to be outputting the most resources at any given time type of thing you
Nice.
know
So that's part of again the gamification and actually understanding how the game works. So
Yeah, I mean, like it does take some getting used to initially, but we have persons who are testing it, who are working on different documentations in different languages to then give new players whenever we do release it to the broader community, just kind of like a heads up in terms of what to do first, what to do next, and stuff like that.
okay, what are we looking at on the right hand side over here?
On the right side, you can see like the diameter of your planet and how many fields or slots you have on it. So each time you build something or you upgrade something, it takes a field. So
Okay.
most planets start off with 163 fields, and then once you have used up all those fields, you get the option to add more slots or add more fields to that planet to make the diameter bigger.
Okay.
It also tells you the temperature depending on how close the planet is to the sun in that particular system, and
All
it
right. So
helps in regards
question for
to
you then. I mean, now we're getting into like actual like so scientific like data, but out of curiosity, I mean, you have temperature here. Does this actually now play a role with like thrusters, gas, and all that, or
it does play a role with
okay?
energy and stuff like that.
So like you're actually trying to implement like real science then into this game. It's not just like an actual game, right? You know, that
Yeah, yeah.
defies science in a way. Like this is actually like you guys are putting real metrics into work. That's what I'm getting at. That's kind of
Yeah,
crazy as
How,
hell.
how many buildings? How many uh, generals, commanders? How many ships? I mean, are you allowed to show that right now? Or
well, it doesn't have it that screenshot to show, but
We don't even know what you're
I
talking about at this point. We don't know what
we
that is.
you do have, I think, around 12 to 15 different officers, we call it, that then can give different boosts to whatever you're doing. Like we have the emperor on there, who you is the only one who can command or fly a particular battleship in the game. So without him, you can't do it. And then we have like the
Are those avatars we had and like the other shows?
yes,
Is that
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Mhm.
So the emperor in quote unquote Matt's character is the emperor, and then Asley's character, with him you can own an additional two planets, because you start off with just um, one planet, and then you have to go ahead and build colony ships and stuff like that in regards to getting other planets, but you're
Yeah.
then maxed out at nine. But if
we
you
actually
have,
talk about what this is? Because what you guys are explaining, we don't have those images. I don't want people to
well,
get confused. You guys are way ahead on that. We'll leave that
well,
for another show. This is actually something that looks like it's happening relatively soon, and this was in the GDE. Well, I don't know, but well, I know that the games are separate, but there will come a point in time where people can then battle to then get other planets. I know this is separate. This is
That
the
time,
universe section,
that
but
time has come, Jason.
okay.
well, yeah, as Jason Jason was saying, yeah, two different games, two different
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to distinguish. Yeah,
you
we're
know,
separating that.
we like for instance, I'll just jump into this here, Matt. I know you like to share things, but you know, time and things have changed, and decisions have been made in the last week or 2 weeks in regards to um, how both games will operate and how both games will function, whether they'll be running hand in hand or if we're going to be pulling over uh, different things from the NFT game in order to have them in the Starship Universe game. We have made some decisions where that is concerned. It may not be the most popular decision, but I think from a business point of view, as well as listening to what the community wants, as well as wanting to, I would say, dip our toes into the sea more. We took certain steps. So what the plan is, we will be updating the GDD sometime over this weekend and be releasing a new GDD for the Starship NFT game. I think sometime next week,
Okay.
and that will be
But
current. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
but we are continuing development on Starship NFT, right?
Yeah, that's where I was
Okay.
getting. So
Oh, okay.
we'll update the GDD, release it with new dates. Um, we plan on adhering and everything that's currently on it, everything that everybody's been expecting in regards to like the additional three ships and stuff like that. They will still come, and they will come in a different time than originally was planned, as well as additional utilities in the Starship NFT game. I haven't even had this particular conversation with Matt or Asley or anybody as yet that I'm about to say, but um, our lead developer that we have for the Starship NFT game, he has a a VR company, and
This
we
is the
will
other Matt. This is the second Matt.
Yeah, Matt
Okay.
number two.
The better Matt, the upgraded
Yeah,
Matt.
yeah.
Matt
So
level 2.
the discussions that have been having with him as well as his VR companies, that's the future. That's the direction we want the Starship NFT game heading into. And
Sure.
the new GDD will outline how we will have it be a virtual reality game, how soon in regards to approximation and stuff like that. So again, everything in the current GDD will remain, and we will give new dates when those will be launched or released, as well as new utilities and additional things included. And this is a big one, when virtual reality for Starship NFT game. So that's where we're heading with the Starship NFT game. So crazy, crazy big things. And I mean, everybody who has been playing the uh on the test net in regards to the Starship NFT and see the new UI knows that there's only greater things to come from the current development of the game. You know,
Wait,
uh,
so could we implement the story lore into Starship NFT I mean, because there's really no story there right now.
Yeah, I mean, like as the time goes by, I mean, this weekend is when we plan on meeting and making final decisions as to what exactly, in addition to the current GDD, goes there, and um, working the storyline from the lore into the game, and to get it as we originally wanted it to be, a full blown game with different things, different utilities and stuff like that, not just a mining game as some persons call it right now, you know. So we will release that GDD within about a week, week and a half type of thing, and you know,
Well,
I
that
think
was,
the community will be happy where that is concerned.
I think that was the
Uh,
major concern or issue at first, right? People are saying, okay, we're basically just buying these NFTs to equip our ship to then get Kyanite. We get Kyanite, like then what, right?
yeah,
So the
exactly,
fact
and
you guys are creating more utility and getting it out there, having more use cases for it, that's what really matters and counts.
yeah, and I mean, going from that to something else, which I think is very important that I let the community know um, from now, is that, I mean, I'm always in the community. I may not talk so much in there, or I may not reply to persons when they message me, but I'm always there. I'm always taking into consideration what is being said there. Stuart is always there, being a rock star grandpa as well, you know, and everybody on the team, as well as our contributors that we have, you know, they're all rock stars. And one of the thing that, you know, came across to us was that, hey, we still haven't tapped into all the possibilities that we can tap into, and that being said, is that, what about the persons who find crypto hard to get into, you know,
We're working
that's
on
a
that
whole,
though.
yeah.
We're
Yeah.
solving some of that.
Yeah,
At
we're
least
working
certain
on
stages
that.
of it. Yeah.
And then, you know, a lot of persons talk about the liquidity pool and stuff like that. So what um we decided to do was that we decided to separate the Starship Universe game totally from the Starship NFT game, at least for the initial part. And how we're going to release it is that persons will be able to just register for the game as a normal game, and then be able to make purchases within the game, initially, whether they use their PayPal or their debit or credit card. And that will get we will then, you know, reach a wider community where that is it concerned, and then whatever is made from that game will go
Well, it's a form of
to,
marketing. I mean, it's smart to
yeah,
separate them to see basically
yeah,
how each of them basically start off. But again, you
Yeah,
guys
exactly.
are using the
it's
same. Um,
it's not just that. Like, you know, my brother is a big gamer, and he's a part of different guilds, and you know, I tried to have him play the game. My cousin, he's a big gamer. I try to have him get into Starship NFT. It's very complicated. There's like 50 to 70 steps needed uh, just to log in. So, you know, we thought it may be better to definitely keep them separate, at least until those steps are down to one or two. I think that's ideal.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
some more, just real quick. And again, I just want to be cognizant of the time. We're at like the 30-minute mark, and I see a lot of questions being asked within the chat, which I definitely want to get to. But just to clarify things, there's Starship NFT Play to Earn game, which is on deploystarship.com. You can learn everything about that. All the links and everything is in the description below. But we are also talking about Starship Universe, which
Yeah.
is what we're just talking about now, which is separate from that. However, they are implementing um, the Kyanite blockchain, like that token, and different metrics into that as well. So I know there's
So can you hear
You,
me?
you
right.
I think he froze.
Yeah. So
We
that
cut
was
him off.
really, really quiet.
So Universe is, I mean, you want to pick this up, but Universe is going to balance out the Kyanite reward pool with whatever income is generated. Can we at least say that? Or
Yeah. So
I
that's
think
the
there's
plan,
like a
Jay. So
connection
welcome
issue.
back. Yeah, that's the plan. We're going to use any revenue from the Starship Universe game to balance out the liquidity pool for Starship NFT game, and as well as further development of the NFT game until it gets to a point where
Okay.
it can fully stand on its own, type of thing. And then we decide how we're going to implement other things into the game where crypto is concerned.
I think I just got booted out of my own stream. I think I just like froze
Yeah.
out.
so something I would like to do, and I know you don't like to give times, but you know, on our first run from 1 penny to $6, we didn't have a product, and you know, all we really had was a dream, and I feel like now that we have products, we're not giving anybody anything to dream about. So I love that you gave us the VR, but is there anything else like what direction? What's your vision of where Starship is headed, uh, especially on the gaming side of things?
Yeah, well, on the gaming side of things, like we're planning on dipping our toes into as many different types of gameplay as possible. I mentioned the VR, where that will be, fast coming in the Starship NFT game. Overall, we are looking at full metaverse. You know, like the sky is the damn limit, or the freaking limit where everything is concerned. Taking into consideration like community input and all that. And
So,
I'll address a question here real quickly, Matt. Currently, somebody asked about the planets not being a utility in the Starship game, universe game. Um, the immediate answer to the immediate future is no. It will stand alone. It will open up us to newer players, non-crypto players, and then the revenue from that game will go fully to the development for the development of the Starship NFT game based on the current roadmap, as well as the new additions that we will be making to the roadmap, and we should be releasing pretty soon. So it's
Okay.
basically tapping into two different sets of market in order to make sure that the vision that everybody signed up for, that Matt said, the dream, does become a reality, and becomes a reality sooner rather than later.
Look, I mean, even before you guys started this, and unfortunately, yeah, my computer just it froze, but and the chat like literally refreshed. But yeah, I mean, Matt, the token was literally, I think, actually under a penny once. Then people are
yeah,
saying it went up to $6, whatever. And then if you look at the entire market itself, everything went down more than like 80, 90% again. But
yeah,
regardless, when you guys first started this, correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't start Starship to be like, we're going full freaking virtual reality. We're going to be doing all this crazy stuff. Like you had a
no,
set mind to say, let's just create the NFT game. And then you did it. You accomplished it. So for everybody that's watching this, go look at other projects that have just the roadmap and the teams and the community saying an NFT game or blockchain game is coming soon or in the next like month or something. And then pay attention to that project and watch it. Talk to their team and see if they're doing anything like this and actually see if there's any developments. Ask them for updates because I guarantee 99.9% of them won't have any updates for you because they're not actually doing it. They won't be able
yeah.
to accomplish it.
And can
And
I
I'd like to
just
touch
comment?
on that just a little bit, but you know, originally we didn't have the upgraded Mac, you know, and now that we do, he has all these ideas for utility, and then we have people like Grandpa who's so passionate about it, and
Okay.
you know, these ideas they didn't exist before, and the passion didn't exist before just recently. So my thoughts were, hey, these people purchased NFTs, they've supported the project. I can't leave them high and dry. They need us to deliver. There's been a lot of money spent. So my initial thoughts were to go in the direction of Universe, because there wasn't anybody developing or passionate about NFT, or so I thought. Now that we have that, it only makes sense to continue that development. And also it really makes sense to attract a different type of player. The whole communities, I'm sure they've tried to onboard their friends or family members into NFT, and unless you have a certain technical skill set, it's kind of difficult. So we're going to reach a wider audience. We're still going to accomplish the same goal of stabilizing NFT or kyanite price through what we generate on Universe. So we're still doing the same thing, adding utility and providing value for everyone who's supported us.
We also haven't even talked about CEXY.Finance, but again, that's a whole other topic in itself.
Yes.
Yeah, and I
We
mean,
could have some good content there next week.
yeah.
So
And
Stuart, I know you want to say something, because sometimes there's like these NFTs where you can wear like a black dress watching an octopus, play with a potato, but you were going to say something else, I think.
Yeah, well, I sort of think this Starship, exactly like you just said, it's like an octopus, various different legs of it. And, we've got SEXY.Finance, we've got the NFT game, soon to have
Get it?
Starship
SEXY.Finance,
Universe,
black dress
we've
with
got
the
somewhere
octopus
else.
playing with a potato.
I think we're going to have one that's like a potato, and that will join in with the octopus and stuff like that. But the thing with the utility with the black dress is Charles is always been saying how much he wants to wear a black dress and he wants to get a photo of himself and to turn that into an NFT. So
I don't know anything about that. That could be some breaking news. I don't know.
No, I thought I'd just stitch him up live on YouTube and say Charles wants to wear a black dress and have it turned into an NFT for him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to say one thing too. It may seem like Starship has a lot going on, but when we originally started this, there was a few people in a large community that had different dreams, and we thought if we could dial in on one of those dreams, make them successful, it would help everyone else be able to accomplish their dreams and goals too. One of the most difficult things is marketing, 3 different products at once. If we have a community that supports a team that can, keep delivering, then it cuts down costs and it increases our chances of success. So, like I'm more passionate about the exchange. Timur loves the game. I know a lot of our community, especially because of the type of marketing we've done, they're more passionate about the game also. So I think we're building a foundation here. I do want to build a multiplayer game like Final Fantasy. That's one of the main reasons that we started creating this story. So that's important. I'm not a big fan of metaverses. I just don't fully understand them. But definitely an MMO RPG game. I would love that.
Well, in Starship now, I mean, everybody. So, not to get like too technical, but again, your each ship is again an NFT, right? It's attached to a Wax wallet, so you know who's basically, well, you know which wallet is in control of these ships.
Yep.
Theoretically, and I think this idea was put out there. I actually came up with it, but you could have like a kind of a tournament actually right now. So you could say, create your teams, right? And again, this is based on wallets being together. And we could say, okay, go out and start conquering planets, go out and start collecting kyanite. You can actually track all that because it's on the blockchain. So you could see who actually formulates a team with each other and then track to see what they're actually doing or achieving. That's a gamification. It's kind of cool.
There's a lot of gamification we can do. There's probably 15 or 20 different gamification things that I talked with Grandpa about that we want to implement. So I think now we're getting to a point where we can start working on those. But we won't set any times, right? Right, Timmer?
Yeah, we won't, and sorry, I just looking at a message here that I saw pop up about
Oh, come on, Timor.
someone,
Normally,
yeah.
you do nothing about tell us when stuff's going to be released. Now we're live on YouTube, and now you're not saying anything. Oh no, I don't want to say anything now.
Yeah, let me answer this guy first. In regards to where the quote unquote mothership is at. Currently, where the mothership in regards to NFT, the NFT game is at, is that it continues in the same direction, the same dream that it started off as, to have different utilities to be fully gamified. Um, we will release a updated GDD pretty soon as well, to show different time frames of different releases, as well as different utilities to that particular game, as well as the big thing, when it become will it become an actual VR, virtual reality game.
That's a big step.
That's where it is going right now. Starship Universe is going to become a game by itself initially, where we will accept dollars, so it will basically be a play to win game with different perks, as well as different outputs in regards to you will get things from the game, you know and then we decide how we, or if we in the future, couple months or a year from now, if we want to still combine both games. However, whatever
Honestly, I
we
think
make
having them
from,
separate again goes hand in
yeah,
hand with marketing. To have different components or different collaborations throughout. That's going to help you guys grow. Plus, if something
exactly.
breaks, it's isolated. So I got you
Yeah,
covered on that, right?
yeah, you got it. And I
That's
mean,
actually
like,
important.
if persons have been watching Beyond FOMO since day one, since everything we started to do, the whole revamp of everything, I'm pretty sure 99.9%, if not 100% of the community will agree with me in saying that whatever we have promised recently, we have delivered, if not over delivered on it. You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
we
I got
have.
to be honest.
Mhm.
You didn't. You still haven't shown everything inside of Universe.
No, and I mean, like, I won't until persons get it there for
Well,
themselves.
that's it.
I won't. It's simple. I won't.
You
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just like showed like the cover of the book. There's so much more
yeah.
in it.
Like,
Do
I
you think you've even
mean,
seen the whole cover? I thought it was just like the top of the letter T for the first word or
Actually,
something
it
like
wasn't
that.
even the whole cover. You
No,
didn't
it
show
wasn't.
all of the buttons on the side. They were cut out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't think I've ever known anyone that's created a product as great as he has, which doesn't want to show anyone.
Hey,
It's
it's
like,
all about timing. That's it.
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
he's right. He's
it's
100%
all about
right. But
timing.
I've
Like,
seen it all, and I want everyone to see it.
we promised for the NFT game that our developer Matt G or will do the whole recoding of everything in a set amount of time. He has done that. You know, we said that we will release a new space station in X amount of time. The team has delivered on that. We say that we will push the test server version of the game to the main net. We will do that. So when we say that we will update the GDD with new utilities, as well as the current one that persons are used to include virtual reality, we will do that. So persons complaining about the price being low, trust me, get in there now. This is the right time to buy before it blows up.
Not financial advice. Hey, but
Not not
can I walk
financial
around on
advice.
a planet? Because that's what I really want to do is be able to walk around on my planet.
I mean, like, what can you do on virtual reality, right? Or what can't you do? So,
We
like,
need that.
imagination, let it run wild where that is concerned until persons actually see what you can or can't do on it.
I,
Theoretically, you could turn yourself into a potato wearing a black dress chasing an octopus if you wanted to.
Well,
I,
here's what we really have to do is once the VR is set up, we should have our show inside of one of my planets.
I've said that from the start, man. Could always do that. I'm down to
Yeah.
have the like, character out there. Hell yeah. I got the green screen too. I could even just put myself there now if I wanted to.
Oh, that,
but some of the, I don't know if any of you have got VR, but VR games are absolutely astonishing. You know, the graphics involved and the complexity of them. You know, StarShip NFT game is a virtual reality blockchain will be off the charts. I've got a Oculus Quest 2. I've probably got about 15 games for it. Some of them are literally mind blowing. You know what you could do in a virtual reality world. It's absolutely astonishing. So you know, I've always said from the beginning, you know, I'd love for StarShip NFT game to go down the VR route because I've seen what they, you know, what the potential is in. It is literally something else, absolutely something else.
A lot of those games that you're seeing now, and not to get too off topic, but those don't actually have any like blockchain tech integrated into that. It's just
No.
pure gameplay.
Yes,
So to see this start to evolve, that's kind of where we're at right now. That's like the pivot. So, and there's a lot of game companies out there that actually stopped game development fully to then actually retrace to figure out how to then implement blockchain technology to then better themselves in the future. Basically, the
Yeah,
same position that you guys are in right now.
yeah. And I mean, like, I just saw another message. I like to read messages and reply whenever I'm on
I've been
here.
reading all of them.
Like, where somebody's saying that we can't expect to show a couple of images and not even gameplay and expect persons to invest in it type of thing. We have shown different things over a period of time. And I'll tell you this, how we plan on releasing Starship Universe. We will release it to the broader community as a free to play game. We will release it as a free to play game initially for everybody to go through, get used to it, and then we release the actual game. So don't just take my word for it or a few pictures for it. The proof will be in the pudding. Um,
I mean,
you will
honestly,
go
just
in
reading
there.
comments. I mean, Frank, just honestly take a step back, read for a second, and realize that yeah, there's photos being shared, and again, these are teasers. But keep in mind that the Starship Deploy Starship game is live, and what we're talking about with the Starship Metaverse that's going to be launching soon, like what you're seeing with images is ironically not even what other projects have to offer, right? I mean, we're talking about just people putting something on a roadmap and then not even delivering. And as Tamar has mentioned multiple times, you could see during the past live shows, we've talked about what we're going to be releasing, what the team is working on, and then you see them actually doing that and achieving it. So yeah, I mean, look at the photos now, and then wait until everything gets released, and then you're gonna get shocked with that. That's all I have to say.
I
I've been
actually,
playing Universe. It's amazing. It's addictive. You send your ships out on NFT, and then you hop back over into Universe, and there's hours of gameplay. Between my confidence in Timmer and this pillow that I slept on last night, I'm feeling really relaxed. Really,
Yeah.
really relaxed.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no there's no specific thing where how should I say this in regards to no game is taken priority or focus over the other, you know, and that's a good thing in regards to persons thinking like that because it is, as I said, be two separate games. They will focus on two different sets of individuals, and then we will use whatever we make from both games to then help with the liquidity pool for Kyanite.
Not
So
not
whether it
just the
be 10,
liquidity pool,
yeah,
but development, future development.
Exactly. You
Because
know,
it's
so like,
expensive. We
oh, it
spent,
is.
yeah, we spent a lot of money on
Yeah.
development.
Yeah, we have, you know, and like a lot of persons really don't understand, and we can't blame them for that, you know, but it is very expensive, and where we are heading, it will become even more expensive. So separating the games and to get where we initially wanted for the Starship NFT game to get plus some is the right move, and everybody will realize that pretty soon.
Well, Stuart, we have you on a show, and I wanted you to join the show also because you haven't been on it yet, and we talk a lot through DMs, but a lot of people also just haven't seen you like on camera yet, right? We always just see you at Discord, Telegram. So just before we leave, because we're almost at like an hour, tomorrow we're talking about like developments, dev work, right? And that. But Stuart, explain also just like the team, because that's kind of where we're getting at. Starship is a business. It's not a
Yeah,
hobby. You guys aren't going full time, working on this at nights or weekends. Like this is legit. This is bigger.
yeah, there was actually a couple of things I just wanted to go over from Timor. We've got various different projects, but all of the different areas have different teams working on it. So we don't have someone coming from the NFT game going to Starship Universe, you know, until they're not needed, then to go to CEXY.Finance, then to go here, then to go there. Everywhere has a dedicated team of people. So going back to the person with, you know, which direction the mothership is going, it's going bloody forwards. It's not going backwards, not going in reverse, only going forwards. We've got various different teams working on various different products, so they don't all, you know, get chopped and changed around. People don't know where they're going. And after this call, I'm going to open a chat in Telegram, and I'm going to invite Frank Macy. Come into Telegram, Frank, get into a voice call. Any concerns that you've got, any concerns anybody's got, come into voice chat. I will talk to you. I will explain everything to you. I'll give you as much information as you want, as much educational material as you want, as much proof as you want. Literally everything that can be required to give to you, unless sorry, but I can't give you Starship Universe because Saint will kick my.
Matt, honestly, like, so Stuart, you've been with Starship, I guess, again, from day 2, right? But still from the very beginning. All these so I just go like on CoinGecko, there's like 10,000 freaking coins or projects out there, right? Plus more. So it's not even including the ones that they have listed. Imagine just having the ability to go into a Telegram group or a project and saying, let me talk to a moderator to give me like more information. Like let's actually talk like about this. Have you ever seen that before? I mean, am I kind of like this is big, this is important. This is legit right here. I love it.
One of the main things that I've noticed, there's been a couple of times where Starship has fallen on difficult times. Each and every time, Matthew, Asley, myself, Timor, Grandpa, each and every person does not hide. Front and center, come and ask me. Got a concern, come and ask me. You know, I may not have the answer.
I love being in the ring. I love being in the ring.
Yeah.
I love to fight. I love to struggle. And I love to overcome our hardships. So,
but nobody's here to hide, Matt. And I'm not trying to just, you know, say you are, but the whole team is doxed. You know, literally every single admin is doxed. Some are only, you know, within the team and not publicly doxed, but the vast majority of people are publicly doxed. You know,
I've just seen projects. I mean, during times like this, when it's like a red market, I've honestly just seen teams literally like disappear. Then when things start to come back, then they appear again. I mean, it's the Wild West over here. It's insane.
Yeah. No,
but so Stuart, you're gonna have to invite in de facto games as well. So not just Frank. So both of them join the Telegram group.
Come talk to me.
Get into a voice chat. Talk to me. You guys can get all your questions answered right away.
Yeah. If we can put a link in the description for Starship Telegram, so people are able to come in, and literally the second we finish with this this video, I'll open the Starship Telegram. I'll open a voice chat, and anyone that wants to come in for a chat, more than welcome to.
I'll send them a link to the Philippines group if they really want to have some positivity.
We've got some.
I give them a shout out. They're always like, again, the most positive people there. I love it.
We've got some amazing Filipinos. You know, they do so much for the cause, 24 hours a day. We've got Dawn, who's the Philippine StarShip manager. 4 o'clock in the morning, she'll stay awake to come to an admin meeting where it's just talking about random stuff. The dedication those people have is
not just that.
unbelievable.
Dawn travels around the Philippines, going to the different internet cafes.
Yeah.
And she's invited over 500 people from these internet cafes in the Philippines. Like that's insane. Like all over the Philippines. I think she's in. She was in Manila last month, so I think this month she's somewhere else. So.
Yeah, put a tracker on her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have her on the show one day. I know the internet kind of is weird there. It's spotty.
Okay. All right, guys, we're actually a little over an hour. I think this is like the longest show we've had so far. There was a lot of information, so I'm going to actually go through it, speed it up per se, and put up like the actual timestamps so people can then search through it if they want. But do also look at the past videos. So this is, I guess, again, towards Frank. What was the other guy's name? In De Facto Games. Like Tamar has mentioned, go watch our previous shows. We're doing this live. There's no script here, but go watch the previous shows and then see what we talked about implementing or the goals, and you'll see that they're done. and we'll say it over and over again. There's projects that don't even go live to give their communities updates like this. Like I'll see like a voice call, right? How many times do you see a project say we're having a voice call on a Friday, but then like they don't actually explain like what's kind of happening, just there to talk to you. That serves no purpose.
Well, not just that, all the decisions being made, they're always in the community's interest. So, if you don't understand a decision, just ask us, and we'll explain, how we came to this. I'd love to have a DAO one day, but for now, it's just a large group of people trying to make the best decision they can for the community. So.
And Stuart was a community member.
Yeah.
And he went all Peaky Blinders on you and said, "I want to be on your team because I want to know how this works."
Yeah. And I mean, one other question, which was asked about how many developers we have working on the games. We have quite a number of developers that are moved in between games as needed. And I'll explain something to the broader audience. You can't have more than one person's working on a CSS file. That's going to break everything. So if we don't need more than one developer working on the StarShip NFT game at a particular time, or on the StarShip Universe game at a particular time, we won't have that. And look at the time frame that things are being done compared to previous times. Persons really don't need to worry about how many developers we have working on things, as long as we are putting out our products that we promised in the time that we promised.
Okay.
From the previous video, you can find how many.
That's it. All right, guys, we got to end it here. Thank you for joining. Again, for those that do have any additional questions about StarShip Universe, again, we'll make the distinguished difference between both of them. Head into the Telegram group. The description or the link for that is within the comment, but in the description as well. I also added the link to CEXY.Finance. So for those curious about that, the link is there. It's also the affiliate link, which I noted, put the disclaimer in there. So it doesn't cost you anything. Click it. It's free. Now, there will be updates, again, through Telegram, right? So you guys are just going to be doing that. Stuart, you're going to be in there now. You're going to be available. You got a few hours till you fall asleep because I know it's almost nighttime. All right. Thank you for joining. As always, hit the like button, subscribe. And then Tamar, you could give me, or actually Matt, maybe give me some, maybe we could get like a spoiler or some information we could save. Follow us on Twitter and wait for and turn on notifications. Maybe we could put something out today or during the week.
Yeah. I'll get with Stuart on that. He has all kinds of game ideas. So, check Twitter and we'll have something special for you guys.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys in Telegram.